pretty spectacular. All right, stay with us. Your regionals are on the 10s. Good morning, Canada. Heading into our first full week of spring and our developing stories. It's spring, technically, more like sprinter. A lot of people using that on social media. March Madness, more snow, and the danger behind the melt. Of course, this time of year, we love spring, transitions into summer, but we do have to deal with the flood concerns with rising temperatures. Cloud tops right now showing a bit of snow moving through southern Manitoba around Winnipeg. That will taper off as the day goes on. And we do have some snow around the Gaspé Peninsula and New Brunswick, where there is a special weather statement in place for a lot of places, plus blowing snow advisories for today, especially in parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Western shores of Newfoundland seeing some very strong winds, so whiteout conditions possible there. Over the weekend, Charlottetown 15 centimeters of snow. You saw 3 hours of freezing rain. Halifax came in at 6 centimeters and 10 millimeters of rain. The system got colder a lot quicker, so the rain wasn't as much as forecasted. And then we've got the cold air in place over the maritime provinces. We'll have more on your story this week, but right now, Nathan Coleman with why cleanup was so important in Halifax this past weekend. Thanks for joining us. Happy Monday. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Across the country, we've got this system that's bringing some snow into southern Manitoba at this point. A low moving into BC with some light rain. Across the east, it is downright cold, below average for this time of year. Considering this is our first week of spring, it's certainly not feeling like it. And there are a lot of blowing snow advisories in place through the maritime provinces as well as Newfoundland and Labrador. Nathan Coleman joining us right now in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And Nathan, right now, Halifax is actually the cold spot in Nova Scotia. They sure have. Thanks so much, Nathan. We'll check in with him again. So lots of school closures once again. And Halifax this afternoon will be -5, feeling closer to -11. Corner Brook will be -6, feeling closer to -15. For the western shores of Newfoundland, there are a lot of blowing snow advisories. So snow is falling and it's whipping all around. This afternoon, Montreal -7, Gatineau is -6. And as we look at this video right here, we're not looking at a big problem, but there is a warm-up happening this week, so localized flooding is possible for the coming weeks. Our count here of the Great Lakes ice cover, things have really tapered off. We've got 52% here, 0.5. That's our total ice coverage of 51 for the Great Lakes. Right now, Mike Arsenault with Earth Day.
It's looking very wintry on this first day. So, by the way, Nicole and I are purposely wearing black and blue because spring lost the fight to winter over the weekend. So how much did we see? Look at Edmonton, 15 centimeters, 10 to 15 in Red Deer, Pigeon Lake, 20 centimeters. More coming?
There is.
Indeed.
That's right. So through the day, we're going to start to see the snow picking up in Calgary. You were only about the under 5 centimeter range, but things start to ramp up in southern Saskatchewan. There is a special weather statement in place, southern Saskatchewan to southern Manitoba, actually. And for southern Manitoba, that will be late in the day Tuesday, but this will be a Tuesday morning story in Saskatchewan.
The storm system is just getting its act together, and it's going to travel across the northern plains, so that will put the southern prairies on the snowy side. Let's take a look at afternoon conditions today. All right, so this is just temperatures excluding wind chill. Ottawa, which has been feeling as cold as -24 this morning, -6 today, -7 in Montreal, just -3 in Toronto.
That's right, and around the freezing mark in Calgary. You've had a pretty mild winter, so it's going to feel colder today than usual. Looking at the temperature trend, we're seeing more of those purples and blues, Chris, funneling into the east, even as we head into next week. So the trend is showing that, especially on the east, we are below average.
Yeah, with blips of warmth. Wednesday will actually be quite warm around much southern Ontario. A storm system tracking west to east. So again, Calgary 5 centimeters today, 10 to 15 Saskatchewan. Special weather statements in southern Manitoba for Wednesday. Snow and blowing snow, and then high pressure develops behind it. So Nicole, let's follow where that storm is going next.
Exactly. So that low, then two of them actually meet up. A Colorado low and the one that's tracking across the prairies meet up to give Ontario messy weather into Wednesday. It'll be snow changing over to rain in places like Toronto, and then it heads into the maritime provinces in Newfoundland, where it looks like rain for most.
All right, sounds good, right? We're all waiting for spring. Coming up, we've got some live field reporters. We'll check in with them too.
Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist. Happy Monday. I hope you had a good weekend. Well, it's spring. technically, if you're in the east especially, it's not certainly feeling like it. March Madness, there's more snow coming, and the danger behind the melt. It is spring after all, so we'll look at that coming up. This morning, temperatures -4 in Calgary, -1 in Winnipeg, Edmonton's -9. And look at these temperatures in the east. Ottawa feels like -24 when you factor in the wind chill. So it is chilly out there. Snow in the western shores of Newfoundland, Burgeo, Deer Lake included in this blowing snow warning. For the Gaspé Peninsula, there is a winter storm warning in place. Also, the Acadian Peninsula is under a special weather statement for some blowing snow as well. Schools are closed in Stephenville. Across the western Newfoundland, there's a lot of other school closures as well. And look at the winds. They're going to be gusting through the day with gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour. Now, speaking of school closures, we've got Nathan Coleman joining us in Halifax. And no snow's falling, Nathan, but schools are closed in Nova Scotia. Tell us why. Certainly is. It's sprinter, as people are saying on social media. Additional snow will bring the western shores of Newfoundland 5 to 10 centimeters. But again, it's the strong winds that are a bigger part of the problem. The temperature story is cold. We've got anything in purple and blue, conditions that are certainly below average. And Halifax this morning is the coldest spot in Nova Scotia at -13. Burr. So the burr continues in Ontario. We check in with Chrissy Van right now. Chrissy, you were looking for one of the coldest spots in Ontario. So where have you landed and how is it feeling? All right, thanks so much, Chrissy. Look at our morning temperatures and stay with us. Find out who gets a personalized forecast and share your weather. That's right. Time for Share Your Weather. Use the hashtag Share Your Weather. Tweet me at Nicole Karkic and you can get a personalized forecast. Today, Mary Ann Rose gets a personalized forecast. We see here, she says March Madness. She lives in Milford, Nova Scotia. Snow covering the streets, covering the roofs as well. So hopefully that was cleaned up over the weekend because we had another storm on the weekend as well. This afternoon, Milford Station getting up to -6, feeling closer to -12. We do have those winds out of the west, sustained at about 15 to 30 kilometers an hour at times. And then in the long range forecast for you, we do have some rain coming in on Thursday. We'll get up to 6 degrees. So there is a bit of melt happening, 10 to 15 millimeters of rain for your Thursday. Now this afternoon, if you're in the prairies, Winnipeg's getting up to 2 degrees. We're seeing some snow move into parts of southern Alberta. Towards the east, it is downright cold. Halifax -5, plus the streets are still really bad, that there are lots of school closures in Halifax, Cumberland County as well. At midweek, we do get milder, at least in southern Ontario. We have Nathan Coleman right now with details on why cleanup was very crucial in Halifax with last week's storm. That's right. And I'm going to act like your mom right now, Nathan, and say put on some gloves, especially if you're going to pick up some snowballs. All right, this afternoon, we are going to see some rain moving into southern BC. We have snow right now for southern Manitoba, including Winnipeg. That will taper off by the afternoon, and still a lot of warnings in place. Of course, we also had some rain moving in, so a little bit icy at times. Halifax itself, 6 centimeters of snow followed by 10 millimeters of rain, so not too much. But in Charlottetown, 15 centimeters followed by 3 hours of freezing rain. But it just took a little bit, of course, after we got big snow last week in Halifax to shut down the streets and then lead into shutting down schools today. Now, there are some school closures as well in Newfoundland. We've got places like Port aux Basques with some school closures. All schools are closed in Stephenville. Stephenville has had wind gusts up to 93 kilometers an hour. So this blue, that is a blowing snow advisory. We've got winter storm warnings for the Gaspé Peninsula leading into Île-de-Madeleine as well. In the Acadian Peninsula, a blowing snow advisory for you. Wind warnings to boot, and in Labrador, we're also going to see those winds possibly up to 100 kilometers an hour on the eastern shores. This afternoon, Halifax bumps up to +5, usually -5 rather, usually you're +5. For Corner Brook, it'll be -6, the Gaspé around the freezing mark. Moving towards Montreal, -7, and you will see some cloud cover, but it is sunny from Gatineau east, west towards Ontario. Now, looking at Ontario here, we'll be doing another drone shot. There is going to be milder temperatures in southern Ontario as we head into Wednesday. And a look at our Great Lakes ice covers right now, cumulative 51% at this point. Let's check in with Chrissy Van right now, who is talking about the deep freeze that we're feeling this morning in Ontario. We certainly are, Chrissy. Thanks so much. But by this afternoon, we will bump up to -3 in Toronto, -6 in Pembroke. Coming up, we'll talk about what temperatures look like midweek because I have some good news. All right, color-coded too. I like it. Thanks
Famous
so much,
last
Nathan.
words. We should be. He's going to have to tape them all together and make one long one there.
I agree.
It's spring, technically. Yeah, honestly, it really is on the calendar.
And March Madness, there's more snow to talk about and the danger behind the melt. This time of year, of course, we're looking at some times when we're going to be above freezing and then below.
Two storm systems, a couple. This big one here, of course, still slowly pushing north and east, so still lots of rough travel in Newfoundland and Labrador. And a developing, see this cloud cover, developing system here. And this is going to bring snow to Alberta today, tomorrow in Saskatchewan, by Wednesday in Manitoba. And we will also feel the effects in eastern Canada from a couple of systems coming from west to east.
That's right. And as we look at the warnings that remain, we'll talk about that in a moment. But quite gusty this morning. Stephenville, gusts up to 93 kilometers an hour. All schools are closed there. Lots of other closures, too, in the western shores of Newfoundland this morning.
And it's cold in Fredericton and Moncton. Wind chills in the minus mid-20s. So no surprise with the combination of the blowing snow advisory and the wind warning that's been going on, including around Corner Brook, Grossmoor, and up the northern peninsula. Very, very dicey out there. No question about it. This is going to take probably much of the day before we see the winds calm down enough to make things improve.
That's right. And we're still in that deep freeze as we head into the afternoon. -5 for the high in Halifax. Usually you're +5. We've got those very strong winds continuing and all that purple invading. That's not good news if you like warmer temperatures. Montreal -15, feeling closer to -24. And in Ontario, you're also cold this morning. Toronto feeling closer to -18. We'll stay with us. We've got more coming on the warm-up midweek. As we take a look at the temperatures in the east, we are below average. So using the USRIN perhaps this afternoon, Halifax -5, Ottawa -6, Toronto -3, over towards the west. Calgary's around the freezing mark, and Vancouver +11.
They're saying serenity now.
Oh, yes. And a lot of people, of course, were on March break last week in Nova Scotia. So maybe you came home to the piles of snow, probably thought, I wish I'd just stay a little longer. Now, we've got some snow moving into southern Manitoba at this point. Winnipeg seeing some snow. And for Atlantic Canada, we still have warnings in place for Newfoundland and Labrador. More snow fell. Bonnie, thanks for sending this here to us at theweathernetwork.com. We saw snow. We also saw freezing rain in Charlottetown. 3 hours at least of freezing rain. Halifax saw 6 centimeters of snow followed by 10 millimeters of rain. And Moncton, it was all snow for you. At this point, these are the warnings in place. The Gaspé Peninsula, Île-de-Madeleine, winter storm warning, blowing snow advisory. And for the western shores of Newfoundland, there are lots of school closures. In Stephenville, all schools are closed. We've seen gusts up to 93 kilometers an hour in Stephenville alone. Burgeo gusts have been up to 80, so you're in a blowing snow advisory as well. That means reduced visibility on the roads, and the wind warnings also in play. That will start to ease late day today into tomorrow. But the bigger story, too, for many, especially where we also don't have any warnings like Halifax, is the cold. This afternoon, you're -5. Fredericton's -4. For the Gaspé Peninsula, feels like -7 with the wind chill by the afternoon. Montreal, -14 with the wind chill for you. It's going to be variable clouds. But as we look towards it's cold, yes, but we do see a lot of sunshine in the forecast for you today. A bit of more of a melt midweek because temperatures do rise on Wednesday in southern Ontario. That will be the warmest day of the week, but our Great Lakes ice coverage is 51% in total at this point. But we're not going to see any melting today with those Great Lakes. Chrissy, you're joining us right now with the story on some of the coldest spots in Ontario. Oh, it certainly is for me as well. This afternoon, not so seasonal. We've got North Bay at -8, London -1, Ottawa -6. This morning, Ottawa, you've been feeling closer to -25, but coming up more on how warm it's going to get midweek for our warmest day of the week in southern Ontario.
Unscheduling.
Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east.
I have to say, I am a little bit envious of you on the inside.
Yeah.
You should be. It's nice in here, actually.
It's actually a bit warm
We had
today.
to turn the thermostat down, I believe. Timmins, Ontario, by the way, right now, -25, -22 in Sudbury without wind chill.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yes.
And Ottawa feels like minus 24, minus 25 this morning. It's spring, so technically, March Madness, more snow, and the danger behind the melt coming up as well.
Yes, and one of the places concerned about the melt, it was going to be in Halifax, and joining us now, Mr. Nathan Coleman outside in the cold and the wind, and that's quite a snowbank behind you.
That's right. And a lot of people, of course, on March break last week. So, Chris, they came back to more snow, more mess. And the kids out of school for another day. Also, western shores of Newfoundland for Stephenville, for example, all schools are closed. Burgeo gusts have been up to 80 kilometers an hour. That's the blowing snow advisory. Ile-de-Madeleine also included in that.
Yep, Gaspé, Anacostia, much eastern Quebec and into western Newfoundland. One of the reasons why we had the blowing snow advisory, because the wind warnings, some of these winds could be close to 100 kilometers per hour, gradually easing both in terms of snowfall and the wind. But the key word is gradual as the storm pulls away. That's a rough day of travel through Labrador, particularly.
That's right. And we take you next.
Josie, thank you very much for sending this in. Today, very cold, wind chills in the minus double digits, Halifax and Moncton, Montreal as well.
And as we look to Ontario this afternoon, Toronto -3, feeling closer to -6. And guess what? This year, we've reached another milestone. We've had more cold weather alerts from the city of Toronto than last year.
Unbelievable, yes. And this late in the game, too, as well. I'm going to shoot you over to the prairies right now. Some light snow falling from, well, snow, Brandon to Winnipeg, 2 to 4 centimeters. But a larger system for you looms for Wednesday. This morning, though, temperatures are not that far off from seasonal for now. More snow to come in parts of Alberta, too.
That's right. Few warnings have just been issued. Jasper National Park included in that. Coming up, we've got Share Your Weather. We're going to find out who gets a personalized forecast next.
Now, core temperature.
Thanks for joining us. I'm
feels
meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Looking across the country, we have some light snow in southern Manitoba, including Winnipeg. That will taper off into the late afternoon. In Ontario, high pressure in place. It is sunny for the afternoon, but cold. That cold air extends into Atlantic Canada, where there still are some warnings in place. Burgeo, Stephenville, we're seeing a lot of snow, blowing snow, as well as some school closures. Charlottetown, 15 centimeters on Saturday night into Sunday. You saw 3 hours of freezing rain for Halifax. And because things are still a mess, and you can hear those winds, and it's still a little bit windy in the Maritimes today, there are school closures across Nova Scotia once again. So back into school this week and already a day off. We've got the western shores of Newfoundland under that blowing snow advisory, winter storm warnings for the Gaspé Peninsula, Ile-de-Madeleine also included in a blowing snow advisory. Check out this wind warning that extends into parts of Labrador. So yes, it is windy. So even if it's not really snowing that much, lots of blowing snow through the day. Halifax -5 for the afternoon. Fredericton will be -4 as we make our way to Quebec. Montreal -7, feeling closer to -14. But from Gatineau over towards Pembroke and across Ontario, we will see some sunshine. A lot of precipitation this week in southern Ontario, but there will be some warm air moving in for our Wednesday. So this is going to change. The total ice coverage for the Great Lakes collectively is at 51.4%. Let's head outside right now. We're joined by Chrissy Van, who's talking about the extreme cold, and I know you don't want to, but that's the sad reality for our first Monday of spring. Oh dear. Also, the city of Toronto this winter has issued more extreme cold weather alerts than last year, so we've eclipsed it already. This afternoon, Toronto -3, Ottawa -6, North Bay -8, but yes, lots of sunshine. Let's talk about the next system moving into Ontario. It's Wednesday when a Colorado low meets up with a low moving across the prairies. That will bring us snow, changing over to rain for Toronto, but if you're up towards the Nickel Belt, that will remain as snow. It doesn't look to be too much, but we are going to see that mild air come in. For St. John's, by Friday, you're up to 6 degrees, and for Saturday, you're going to be 5, but yes, rain is on the way. Whitehorse, by comparison, temperatures look like St. John's as we head into your Friday and Saturday. Stay with us. We'll talk about the snowfall warnings we see right now in Alberta next. Good morning. Hope you enjoyed your first official weekend in spring. Nicole and Chris with you, but we're saying spring. It's technically spring because many in the deep freeze this morning.
That's why you and I are wearing black and blue today, because...
Or is it white and gold?
Or is it white and gold? Yeah,
that is the question.
Spring lost the fight to winter this weekend. March Madness, more snow. That's got people up in arms. Yeah, and the danger behind the melt. We know the melt will happen.
Yes.
We want a gradual melt. We don't want a rapid one because that'll have big problems. And, of course, the most of the snow in the country is in Atlantic Canada, and it's brisk out there, a lot of blowing snow and frigid wind chills.
That's right. And we've issued some, they've issued some snowfall warnings in Alberta Alberta. Jasper National Park included in that.
Highways, including the Trans-Canada Highway between Corner Brook and Stephenville, for example. We got some school closures this morning. This afternoon, dress for wind chills in Moncton around -10, similar in Fredericton, Charlottetown, and Halifax. It's a cold one, so no melting going on today in earnest.
Not at all. And variable clouds in Montreal feeling closer to -14. We've got lots of sunshine across Ontario, but Toronto this afternoon -3. The cold weather alert will end by the afternoon, but now the city of Toronto has seen more cold weather alerts than last year.
Unreal. And in Ottawa this morning, tomorrow could be a very snowy one, 15 centimeters or more in the cards, Nicole. This morning, -5 in the Queen City, up towards the city of Bridges. We got -6. And let's see who else we've got. Red Deer, -7, feeling like -13. Some snow falling now, Brandon to Winnipeg. Watch that Trans-Canada Highway, 6 centimeters down in Brandon.
Yes, and Winnipeg's had that light snow for the past couple of hours.
Yes.
It will cease by mid-afternoon. Fort McMurray -8, Edson feeling closer to -10. And as we jump ahead to Tuesday, there's that snow we were talking about in southern Saskatchewan. There are special weather statements for southern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba, including Brandon, including Winnipeg. So that starts tomorrow through the day in Saskatchewan, and then for Manitoba tomorrow late in the day.
Into Wednesday, that's right. Meanwhile, high pressure for much of the east, so tomorrow will be not as windy and therefore not feeling quite as cold as today.
That's right, but stay with us. We're going to count down the top 5 signs of spring. Yes, it's spring, our first official week, but it's not feeling like it, especially if you're in eastern Canada. Plus, we've just seen this morning some snowfall warnings issued in Alberta, Jasper National Park, Hinton included in that as well, and still blowing snow advisories in place for the western shores of Newfoundland, Acadian Peninsula, and there are still school closures in Nova Scotia and parts of western Newfoundland. Now, this afternoon, look at our daytime highs here. Thunder Bay around the freezing mark, Marathon -7, but dressing for -12. With the wind chill. And as we take you to Ontario, the city of Toronto -3, and we've had an extreme cold weather alert issued by the city of Toronto that will be dropped by the afternoon. But now the city has seen more extreme cold weather alerts than last year. So, indicative of how cold it's been, sending us this video. Sudbury itself got about 9 centimeters. North Bay close to about that 10 to 15 centimeter range in the area. Also down towards Toronto, we saw the rain. Cottage Country had a messy rain-snow mix, so it was quite a weekend. For today, this system staying stateside, so just a bit of cloud cover in southwestern Ontario. Otherwise, it's really sunny across Ontario. It's just going to be colder than usual. And then we'll watch this system, which comes through Ontario Wednesday, with snow changing over to rains of snow, followed by 10 millimeters of rain. So it was messy. And of course, you know, this winter so far has been pretty epic. Moncton this season, 468 centimeters of snow. St. John, the snowiest season on record. So those numbers are going to keep going up as we get into the next couple of weeks. Although we're seeing some rain in the long range forecast as we head into this weekend. It's cold today. Halifax, -5 by the afternoon. We've got the very strong winds across the Gaspé Peninsula. For Stephenville, schools closed in the district, and we've seen gusts up to 93 kilometers an hour. But the blue and the purple isn't going anywhere until we head into the end of the week, and then we're going to see a gradual warm up as well as some rain. As of March 21st, Charlottetown 144 centimeters on the ground, Halifax 91, and as we look to Cartwright, 300 centimeters on the ground. So it is going to be quite a spring there. Let's take you to the spectacular scene. It is a pretty spectacular shot. Love to see that live. Looking across the country at Tuesday, we've got the cold air in place in Ontario. Watch what happens as the week goes on. We're going to see really cold air mixing into Manitoba at this point, and still staying cold in the east, relatively speaking, as we end off the week, although we do get a bit of a warm up in southern Ontario on Wednesday. Regina, we do have snow moving in tonight after midnight. It'll ramp up, and we're looking at 15 to 20 centimeters of snow potentially through tomorrow. You'll be around the freezing mark. We're going to see some strong winds, and then it does shift in to southern Manitoba. Well, stay with us if you
unscheduling.
Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east. Thanks for joining us. Nicole and Chris with you. It is our first full week of spring.
Does it feel like the first full week of spring?
Not so much.
So technically it's spring. March Madness, more snow, yes, and still some more cold out there as well.
And the danger behind the melt,
Yes.
we'll look at that because obviously we're going to see that as a theme for the next couple of weeks. But no snow melting in the Maritimes or the rest of Atlantic Canada today. Blowing snow advisories anywhere in blue, so Stephenville down to Burgeo. Schools are closed all across parts of western Newfoundland, including Stephenville.
Yeah, and the HRM, the schools are closed as well because of snow clearing. We've been hearing from Nathan Coleman today, and the wind warning, so that's adding to the blowing snow. Now in Alberta, there's also snowfall warnings. Jasper, Hinton, Grand Cache, developing later today, 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. The city of Calgary could see up to 5 centimeters of snow. It's not this system here that's bringing up to 5 centimeters in parts of southern Manitoba, so coating the Trans-Canada. It's a developing storm out of Montana, and these storms that trek across the northern plains, those are the snowmakers for, Regina and Estevan and Swift Current, for example.
That's right. Regina could be looking at up to 20 centimeters on the high end of snow tomorrow. Plus, the winds out of the east will be pretty strong as well.
Yep.
This morning, Winnipeg's -1. You're seeing that snow tapering off by late afternoon. Regina's -5. Lethbridge -6 with the wind chill for you.
So there's the south coast of Newfoundland, and we've got for this afternoon a cold one. We've even seen some squalls up and down the Avalon Peninsula. No advisories. Double-digit wind chills in Halifax and Moncton, Quebec City, Montreal as well. So first full week of spring starting off very wintry.
It is, and that extends into Ontario as well. Ottawa -6 this afternoon. Pembroke -6. Toronto -3 with the wind chill. But the extreme cold weather alert that was issued by Toronto will be dropped by the afternoon. But how about this, Chris?
All right.
We look at the City of Toronto's extreme cold weather alerts, and back in 2014, this winter, we had 36 days. This winter, we're already up to 38 at least.
Wow.
So,
and last year, the last one was March 16th,
Yeah.
so we've already surpassed that one. And we do have, tomorrow's going to be a better day. It's going to still be cold, not as windy for all of eastern Canada. But we do have storm systems moving west to east. So let's begin in the west. So there's the snowmaker in Alberta and Saskatchewan, Tuesday night and Wednesday into Manitoba. So significant shot of winter, then high pressure settles in for later in the week. Temperatures will rise quite nicely in BC and particularly Alberta.
But let's follow that
All
low
right.
because it's moving across northern Ontario, meeting up with a Colorado low for our Wednesday morning commute. That snow changing to rain in southern Ontario up to cottage country, but in the Nickel Belt, that will be all snow. And then it moves into the Maritimes as well as Newfoundland, Chris.
Yeah.
And this looks like it could be a messy mix of snow, maybe at times, but overall, this looks to be mild enough that we'll see a lot of rain in the Maritimes.
Well, Fredericton on Thursday, we're calling for 8 degrees. In fact, the 7-day forecast in both Halifax and Fredericton supports some melting during the day and sub-zero lows at night. So hopefully this will be a controlled melt, but we are concerned about that rain clogging up or pooling out on the roads.
Quite the countdown. Glad you could join us. Take a look at this midweek pattern. We've got cold air really funneling in across the prairies. Southern Saskatchewan will be shoveling snow midweek. We've also got some snow that's going to blow around on Wednesday for you in southern Manitoba. But yeah, mild air moving into Ontario. And this morning it is cold. So by Wednesday, look at your daytime highs. It's going to look very different. London 11, Windsor 12, Toronto 9, Ottawa will be +5. And after this morning, Ottawa, when you're feeling closer to -24. It's going to be a nice change. Montreal also getting that warm up +5 for you. Up towards Quebec City, you'll be +5 as well. But then later in the week, the pattern changes again and the cold air comes rushing back in across Ontario. And then it gets a little bit milder into the Maritime provinces. So that's going to bring you some rain and some flooding for the weekend. And so the cleanup crews could get everything cleaned up, and still lingering into this morning, lots of problems on the roads. So kids are out of school in Halifax and many parts of Nova Scotia, as well as Newfoundland, because of the bad weather. Now, Saturday into Sunday, Charlottetown saw 15 centimeters of snow, as well as 3 hours of freezing rain. We still have these blowing snow advisories in place. Corner Brooks included over towards Burgeo, gusts up to 100 kilometers an hour on the high end. The Gaspé Peninsula, Île-de-Madeleine, blowing snow, as well as some snowfall, and the Acadian Peninsula also in a blowing snow advisory for today. Check out these wind warnings. Stephenville gusts have been up to 93 kilometers an hour today. That will be ongoing. It does clear out into tomorrow and the winds calm down and you get that warm up. But let's check out what's happening here. We've got snow moving in late tomorrow for southern Manitoba, moves across Ontario. And what it will do is Wednesday morning, it will bring some snow first to southern Ontario, changing to rain, followed by another shot of snow as we head into Thursday. So we're cooling down. For Ottawa, that will be a rain-snow mix for you as well. By the time it reaches the Maritime provinces Thursday into Friday, looks like we're going to be seeing quite a bit of rain. So some melting, that's going to be a problem. So we're going to get more snow moving into Alberta later today through the overnight. Calgary looking at about 5 centimeters, but this was the totals over the weekend. Edmonton 15 centimeters of snow for you. So spring looking like winter. Even a snowfall warning's been issued in Alberta this morning. Jasper over towards Hinton, a general 10 to 15 centimeters of snow, and then it spreads into Saskatchewan overnight tonight. So while you're sleeping, it's going to start to really ramp up. Regina to Saskatoon, 10 to 15 centimeters or more, with places like Regina maybe seeing close to 20 centimeters on the ground. Then it will spread into southern Manitoba tomorrow night into Tuesday. So watch what happens. We've got that snow Tuesday morning in Alberta as well as Saskatchewan, and there it is for Tuesday into Wednesday for Manitoba. Then high pressure comes into place. You're cooler, but you'll be sunnier.
Unscheduling.
Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the Maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east. Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Looking across the country for this Monday, we are seeing some snow in southern Manitoba. Brandon has picked up at least 6 centimeters. For Winnipeg, that light snow will taper off midday. Across Ontario, it is cold, but we've got some sunshine in store. Newfoundland and Labrador still have some blowing snow advisories in place. However, it is messy. And look at the messy weather we saw over the weekend in North Bay. And you can see it just was a little bit messy. I think he took that shot from inside, so that was the best place to be. This afternoon, Marathon -7, feeling closer to -12. Thunder Bay feels close to -4 with the wind chill. And as we look to the afternoon here in Ontario, Barrie -6, London -1, Windsor, Sarnia, and up to London, a bit of cloud cover for you in the afternoon, but otherwise it's really nice and sunny. Ottawa, -6 for this afternoon. Usually we're closer to about +4, +5 in Ottawa, so yeah, we're below average for this first Monday in spring. Now this system is staying stateside, so that's what's going to bring you that cloud cover on Windsor and Sarnia. It is a quiet day. We start to see a bit of a gradual warm up into Tuesday. More of a warm up comes on Wednesday, however, with Toronto getting up to 9 degrees. But we're also going to watch this Colorado low meet up with a prairie system, and that will bring us snow changing to rain in parts of southern Ontario on Wednesday. And boy, was it messy this past weekend in the Maritime province, and it's just been punishing weather this winter. In fact, St. John, snowiest season on record with 482 centimeters of snow. And when we get to the end of this week, we're not worried about snow. We're worried about rain coming through. So that's going to provide some melting, some localized flooding. Before today, no melting at all. Look at these purples. That's the cold air moving across the Gaspé Peninsula, New Brunswick. We also have some blowing snow advisories for the western shores of Newfoundland, Stephenville. Kids aren't in school. Kids aren't in school in parts of Nova Scotia, including Halifax, because of the messy weather. But as we get into the midweek, we're starting to see more blues and even some yellows popping up on that map, and that's indicative of the warm up. Snow on the ground that still has to be melted. Charlottetown 144 centimeters, Halifax 91 centimeters on the ground. Look at Cartwright. 300 centimeters of snow. Unbelievable. And this picture, pretty unbelievable because there was rain, there was hail, and there was also some lightning, but a spectacular shot. Take a look at our colors here. Anything in the dark blue and purple, that's our cold air. So today, cold into Tuesday, but we start to get that mild air moving in on Wednesday, followed by even more cold air into the end, into next week. So spring is below average, especially in eastern Ontario. But the prairies also dealing with some wintry conditions for spring. Regina starts to see snow begin after midnight tonight, and through to Tuesday, 15 to 20 centimeters of snow could fall. So there is a special weather statement in southern Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba for this snow moving in tonight into tomorrow. Now Wednesday we're -3, Thursday we're -2, but then we do warm up into next week. Take a look at Whitehorse. We've got some mild air in place for you. Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Your headlines today in Canada. We are talking about spring, technically, because it doesn't feel like it, especially in the east. March Madness, we're seeing more snow and the danger behind the melt. We'll give you details on all of these stories throughout the hour. All right, let's look across the country to see what's going on. We've got rain moving on shore into BC later today. Snow has been falling in parts of Manitoba. Brandon's picked up 6 centimeters. And for Ontario, the stories of the cold, whereas in the east, we still have some warnings in place. So the western shores of Newfoundland does have a blowing snow advisory. Stephenville has seen wind gusts up to 93 kilometers an hour. Schools are closed in Stephenville as well as other areas in Newfoundland. And across the maritime provinces, parts of Nova Scotia, kids are out of school again. I know you're back from March break, a lot of you, and it's really messy, and you've got kids out of school. New Brunswick, not a lot of school closures, but we do have the Gaspé Peninsula and Île-de-Madeleine in a blowing snow advisory and winter storm warning. There are the wind warnings as well, so they'll be howling through the day. This was just issued earlier this morning, a snowfall warning for Alberta. Jasper over towards Hinton, 10 to 20 centimeters falling beginning today into tomorrow. And for this afternoon, Calgary will be sitting around the freezing mark. You're not in the warning, but you'll see about 5 centimeters of snow. Vancouver 11 degrees with the rain, which is just some spotty showers really for BC. Hey, there's no warning in place, but grab the umbrella because the general under 10 millimeters in this light green, but towards Pitt Meadows could be a little bit more steady. So a zoomed in look here does show us that snow tapering off in Winnipeg and Brandon as the day goes on. That will really clear out for you. And then there's more snow on the heels of it. So this one's looking pretty intense for some. We could be seeing southern Saskatchewan getting about 10 to 15 centimeters or more in some cases. So that will start overnight in Saskatoon and Regina. And then Tuesday late in the day, it really ramps up for southern Manitoba. At this point, there's just special weather statements in place. We're going to see a warm up for you in Sarnia midweek. On Wednesday, it'll be the warmest day of the week. But today is the coldest day of the week in southern Ontario. And if you're in Sarnia, Windsor, or London, you'll see some cloud cover today with a high of about -1. Toronto's -3. Pembroke will be -6. In Ottawa, you started the day feeling like -24. The afternoon will feel like -11. Later this week, that cold air comes right back in. So even though we have a quick shot of mild air, a Wednesday in southern Ontario gets cold again, but then you'll get that mild air in the maritime provinces, which is going to cause a problem because we're going to see some rain and melt. Wednesday afternoon, Toronto's +9, Ottawa's 5, Pembroke 4, so a peak at our warmest day here. Stay with us. We've got more to show you coming up. Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east, which was the first official weekend of spring. 10 to 15 centimeters fell in Red Deer. How about Edmonton? 15 centimeters. Nordegg, 14. Pigeon Lake, 20. And there's more on the way. Beginning later today, we're going to see a system move up from the United States. It's going to spread across Alberta. And Calgary sits around the freezing mark for the afternoon. So that's going to be snow for you. It's really light for Alberta, but under 5 centimeters. Then it moves into southern Saskatchewan later today, so mainly overnight. And then Tuesday evening, it moves into Manitoba. So dark blue areas could see 10 to 15 centimeters or more. Also, the winds will be out of the northeast, and it will be blowing the snow around a little bit. Not the strongest winds we've ever seen in the prairies, but certainly with the snow falling, it's going to make for a messy commute. Tuesday morning, you'll be shoveling snow. Then you'll be shoveling a lot of snow Wednesday morning in southern Manitoba. Winnipeg itself, it looks like through Tuesday into Wednesday, it's about 5 centimeters of snow. So it depends on where you are. Midweek, we start to see cold air really funneling into the prairie provinces. The pattern shows us milder air moving into southern Ontario, cold in the east, and the warmth, how warm does it get? Well, Wednesday's high in Toronto, +9, so it's our warmest day of the week. Well, thanks, Nathan. Now, Rachel Schutzen shows us where you can visit in BC this week. Thanks for joining us. Our top stories this Monday, the first full week of spring. We're saying spring technically because it certainly doesn't look like it. A lot of people are saying maybe it's sprinter on social media. That's hashtags going around around. March Madness, more snow, and the danger behind the melt, which of course will be an ongoing topic as we head into mid-spring. Across the country, we've got this low to talk about, moving some rain on shore for BC. Snow this morning in southern Manitoba. It's really moved out of Brandon. You picked up 6 centimeters, but it's still ongoing for Winnipeg. Cold across Ontario as well as the east, and we still have some warnings in place for Atlantic Canada today. It is just windy and cold. This afternoon, Vancouver is 11, Calgary around the freezing mark, and yes, that is snow. That's moving into Calgary and Edmonton this afternoon and through the overnight. As far as the rain goes, this is really spotty. There's no warnings associated with it. It's under 10 millimeters for Vancouver and across Vancouver Island. Pitt Meadows could get a little bit more. And for you in Alberta, which is March break for Calgary, if you're doing a staycation, there is snow on the way. Not enough snow to get those hills open again that closed down this winter, but we do have it moving into Alberta. More snow moving into southern Saskatchewan for overnight tonight into Tuesday morning. And look at those winds right out of the north. It's going to be messy for tomorrow morning's commute in southern Saskatchewan. Regina stands out. And then for Winnipeg, you'll get the snow Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning. But it doesn't look to be as much for you in southern Manitoba. Through to Tuesday, this is our snowfall forecast. So the dark blue indicates 10 to 15 centimeters of snow, but it could even be close to 20 centimeters in some cases. So we'll see how it all shakes down. This afternoon, Toronto's -3. The city of Toronto now has issued more cold weather alerts this year for Toronto than last year. We have a bit of rain moving through Sarnia this week, but it's not a lot at once. We're going to see a warm-up Wednesday in Sarnia, followed by a cool down, and that's going to be moving through the prairies as well as the east. But the Maritime provinces also mild this week, later on in the week, and you're going to see some rain there too. Wednesday afternoon in Toronto, +9. This is our warmest day of the week. London at 11, Ottawa +5. Today's the coldest day of the week, so there's something to look forward to, at least a little mild air. Wednesday will be 4 degrees in Halifax, 6 in Sherbrooke, 5 in Montreal. And this is the additional snow we're seeing. Western shores of Newfoundland is seeing about 5 to 10 centimeters, but there's blowing snow advisories. Kids in Stephenville aren't even in school today, so it is a little bit messy out there, and kids aren't in school in parts of Nova Scotia as well. Stay with us. We'll talk more about that mild warm-up in southern Ontario, including you in Ottawa. All right, how about Gander? As of March 21st, 121 centimeters on the ground. Deer Lake 150, St. John's 53, but Cartwright stands out, 300 centimeters on the ground. So that's what has to melt through the spring season. For the Maritime provinces, Charlottetown, 144 centimeters for you. Now, Nathan Coleman is in Halifax with an update on how the weekend storm has left a mess in the city. And while misery loves company, it looks like a lot of cities on this map are below average for the afternoon. Calgary around the freezing mark, Toronto -3, Halifax -5. Now in southern Ontario, Chrissy Van was outside lamenting about the spring season. But you'll put it away for at least a day in southern Ontario. Milder air moves in by Wednesday. The city of Toronto will be up to 9 degrees. Look at Windsor and London getting up to +11. We'll share the wealth of that warm air towards Montreal at 5. Halifax will be 4. And then it gets even warmer in the Maritime provinces as we head into Thursday. But cools down in Ontario and the prairies. Right now, Rachel Schutzen takes us to Terrace, British Columbia to look back at an epic snowstorm this winter. Time now for the System Showdown. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. We'll go across the country to find out who's getting what. And for our first full week of spring, we've got some rain moving into the lower mainland. We'll talk about the snow moving in through the prairies, what's happening this week in Ontario, and we'll get to you in Atlantic Canada as well. There is another system moving through, but this round it looks like rain. So for BC, rain moving in late this morning for the lower mainland. It's just some spotty showers on and off. There is a low developing stateside, however. That's going to move into southern Alberta, and that will bring some snow into places like Calgary. How about that rain? Well, it's about under 10 millimeters for Vancouver itself, as well as across Vancouver Island. The winds will pick up as well again, but it doesn't look too bad. So next, we're going to move into the prairie provinces, where this morning, yes, we've seen some snow. Well, they're going to be covered in a lot more snow, not just today, but as we head into midweek. So here's how things shake down. We've got the snow moving into Calgary later today, which is going to bring you about 5 centimeters. But then look what happens overnight. Saskatoon and Regina will start to see that snow. It begins after midnight for Saskatoon, a little bit later in Regina. So when you wake up, there's going to be those strong northerly to easterly winds that will be blowing the snow around. And then it moves into southern Manitoba later in the day Tuesday. So how much we're seeing is indicated here. The dark blue, 10 to 15 centimeters, but that could be higher, maybe even closer to 20 in the city of Regina. Let's move next to Ontario, where we do have beautiful sunrise and sunsets this time of year. In southern Ontario today, it is all about the cold. But in the long range forecast, we're going to be looking at a warm up. Wednesday, the warmest day of the week. Today, the coldest. But there's a system to watch, and it will come through as we head to Wednesday, bringing first some snow, changing over to rain in southern Ontario. But the Nickel Belt, it will be snow for you. Moving next to the Maritime provinces, where today crews had to clean up all the mess. Well, it's going to be messy again today across Newfoundland, with the western shores of Newfoundland getting hit the hardest. And then the Maritime provinces by Thursday, mild air as well as rain. Coming up, we'll talk more about the big systems across the country. It's March break in Calgary, so we'll tell you your temperature story next. Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the Maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east. Happy Monday. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Our top headlines today are, well, it's spring, technically speaking, but it certainly isn't feeling like it for many across the country. The March madness continues with more snow and the danger behind the melt coming up throughout the hour. Let's take you across the country where we see a low moving into BC. That will bring you some spotty showers through the day for the lower mainland. Across the Prairie provinces, we've had some snow in Manitoba. Brandon itself has picked up 6 centimeters. Winnipeg's seen snow, but it is going to clear out as the day goes on. That high pressure in place across Ontario is bringing us some sunny skies, but boy, is it cold all the way to the east, and parts of Atlantic Canada still have a lot of warnings in place, including the western shores of Newfoundland with some blowing snow advisories. How about BC though? We do see those showers moving in later today actually. Vancouver itself will pick up under 10 millimeters of rain, and then this system just swings stateside and moves into Alberta with a bigger snow story there. So this is the general under 10 millimeters for Vancouver Island, the lower mainland as well. Pitt Meadows itself could see a little bit more, so steadier showers for you. Let's take you next to the city of Regina. Boy, is it getting even colder as the day goes on. So our first full week of spring, we've got snow to talk about. For you in southern Saskatchewan, you are in a special weather statement for the development of snow tonight. So overnight, we're going to see snow ramping up in Saskatoon and Regina. So tomorrow morning, waking up to snow you have to shovel. Maybe you don't even know where the shovel is because it's been so mild at times in parts of the west. For southern Manitoba, that moves in later Tuesday into Wednesday morning. And it's not as impactful, it looks like, for places like Winnipeg. But look at Regina to Saskatoon, 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. While southern Ontario has been in the deep freeze, Chrissy Van was outside in the city of Oshawa. Oh boy, but here's the thing. We do get some mild air returning to Ontario as well as parts of Quebec midweek. So how about this? Toronto will be 9 on Wednesday. London and Windsor will be plus 11. However, later in the week, we get right back into the colder air for Ontario and Quebec, but it'll be mild in the Maritime provinces and Newfoundland, where we will be seeing some rain. Ottawa itself, rain-snow mix coming through on your Wednesday. This will then continue to be rain for Thursday with a high of 6 degrees. And for Whitehorse, take a look at your 7-day forecast. Stay with us. More on the snow moving through Western Canada this week.
Scheduling.
Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the Maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east. And how about Gander? We've got, as of March 21st, 121 centimeters on the ground, so that's what has to melt through spring. Cartwright, though, 300 centimeters to deal with. Charlottetown, 144 centimeters. Halifax, 91. So it is messy. We had Nathan Coleman in Halifax earlier today talking about how the recent snowstorm has slowed down the city. All right, and misery loves company. We've got a lot of cities on this map below average for this time of year. Calgary around the freezing mark, Toronto -3, St. John's, Newfoundland -4, and in southern Ontario earlier today, Chrissy Van was in Oshawa questioning whether or not it really was spring. No, you certainly can't. And midweek, lots of cold air funneling into the Prairie provinces. But how about this? Parts of Ontario and Quebec will be really mild on Wednesday, the warmest day of the week for Toronto at 9, 11 Windsor, London, even North Bay getting above the freezing mark. Now, Rachel Schutzen takes us to Terrace, British Columbia with a look back at an epic storm that moved through the area this past winter.
Scheduling.
Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east.
Scheduling.
Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east.
Scheduling.
Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east.
Scheduling.
Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east. Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east. Well, you're going to see sunny skies traveling through Ontario today, right across the maritime provinces, but it is brisk. Certainly temperatures below average. Towards the west, we've got some snow moving into Alberta. It's going to be even snowier in southern Saskatchewan into your Tuesday morning, with likely up to 10 to 15 centimeters on the high end, and then it makes its way into southern Manitoba as well. So if you're traveling there, do take care of the possibility of quite a bit of snow. And then on Tuesday, we're still clear in the east.